Welcome to Access a Trader, the #1 community for those who are committed to taking control of their trading in order to achieve success, profitability, and longevity. Thank you for joining us. Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessATrader.com nightly wrap-up show. Hope everybody had a great Memorial Day weekend. Hope everybody had a good day of trading. We'll get to that in a second. All I ask, guys, if it takes a second out of your time, if you are getting value from this channel on a day-to-day basis, all I ask is take a moment out, click a like, support the channel, share, subscribe if you haven't done so already. And again, hopefully I will continue to kind of help put you in the right direction, right? So that's that. So let's talk about it, right? If you guys remember the weekend update, we talked about it, almost joked about it, that Trump imposed a 50% tariff on the EU with a deadline of June the 1st. And I joke around that I'm like, that's kind of getting into an argument with your mother. Eventually your mother's like, give in. I don't think the ink was even dry on, I don't know, the tweet or the email that I sent out or the video that was out. 5-6 hours later, blah, 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 blah. Trump extends the bargaining chip to the EU, yada, yada, yada. Dow goes up 740 points. NASDAQ goes up 460 points. And the S&P 500 goes up 2%. Never a dull moment. Never a dull moment. But that one, you kind of saw coming, right? You kind of saw coming because it just didn't make any sense why we would take our biggest ally, right? Our day one, our boy, right? And put him in the position that it was going to be uncomfortable for both sides of the market. So huge rally, never a dull moment. And now we are a hop, step thrown away from the recent highs. And again, this has been an absolutely incredible rally. A little bit of dips, some obviously news headlines here or there, but ultimately, the scoreboard is the scoreboard, which is absolutely amazing. So what's going to stop this market, right? That's our job, guys. Our job is not to care what's going to stop this market. Our job is not to, try to think of all the worst case scenarios. Again, we go every single day based on the previous day's data. That's it. We know where our top of the channels are. We know where the bottom of the channels are. We know that Friday we closed below the daily support, the 10-day moving average. And this news never comes out, right? This extension never comes out. Maybe we have a completely different conversation today, but it does. So don't be afraid to have an opinion. Don't be afraid to be wrong, okay? Wrong, right, it's irrelevant. As long as the price action manages you clicking the mouse in that direction, that's fine. You're going to be wrong every single day. Your opinion is going to be irrelevant. My opinion is irrelevant, but price action is the king, and that's exactly where we are. The big story, and again, I hate to minimize of the whole EU thing, but yeah, I think everybody kind of saw that coming. It was just a matter of time. Is what the hell is going on with Tesla? And this was literally my only trade of the day. I have a runner overnight. If you've been watching this, just in the last 2, 3, 4, 5 days, you kind of hear me saying, just joking around, well, they just stopped coming in for like the 375s, the 380s, the 400s. Now they're coming in for the 440s, right? You guys remember that 440? Literally 440s all last week. I'll tell you this much. I've seen some aggressive call buying, but from what I saw today was, really took the cake. They were coming in for the July 18 expiration. Millions of dollars for the 450 calls. Then they started coming in some for the August 500s. And then there was a really, really big buyer who came in for the September 500s. Again, and I feel like a broken record because it's literally the same thing I said on the weekend update. I don't know what this damn catalyst is. Again, the news over the weekend was, well, Elon Musk is going to take a step back from the White House. Again, we talked about this on the weekend update. I'm going to concentrate more on Tesla. I'm going to concentrate more on SpaceX. I'm going to concentrate more on XAI. And I was like, well, is this really going to be the news that's going to catapult this thing to 500? Maybe something else is coming out it's going to be really, really cool in the next few weeks or even few months to see what potential news there possibly is. But, Tesla, again, opened right at last week's highs, right? 347.35 was last week's highs. That's what's trading pre-market. It needs to confirm, also needs to confirm that 350, right? The 350, it's going to set the tone. Tesla went out of its mind. I mean, I think that's the best way of saying it. Tesla went crazy. This is literally right from the word go. Guys, there wasn't a downtick towards late in the day. Here is their open. You see the opening range highs here, 49.80. That's where I got the 350. Needs to confirm. 47.30s was the high from these last two channels going back to Wednesday and Thursday. As you can see here by the 60-minute view, it just went, as we used to say in Brooklyn, buck wild, right? The damn thing went buck wild right from the opening range, went absolutely crazy. Congratulations for you guys who are still in it. Again, I just have a runner overnight. It closed within the highs of the day. And guys, if we could confirm tomorrow, and again, maybe, who knows, maybe it rests tomorrow, but if we could confirm tomorrow and we can establish a new base above today's highs, who is to say we can't test that upper Bollinger Band at 375? Hell, if they're betting the 450 calls for next month, why is 375 out of the question? So this is now the highest close in the whole formation of Tesla. You have massive call buying coming in. Let's see if we can get a day two. I can understand if we get a res day tomorrow, an inside day tomorrow, which will be fine. Obviously, we want a continuation. But if this thing can start trapping some early shorts, especially if there's any profit taking, because Tesla had a really, really big day. Stock today up nearly 7% in the regular session, pretty flat here after hours. But if we could confirm today's channel tomorrow, who knows? I think we could push into that 375 supply. We'll see there. The second biggest story is going to be tomorrow, right? Tomorrow is NVIDIA's earnings, okay? NVIDIA has been an absolute rock star for a very, very long time, had an incredible run going pre-COVID to kind of where it is today. The notable buyers that came into the name all day today, pretty much setting up or at least positioning for tomorrow. You saw the 140s, the 145s, I believe the 150s as well. Not a lot of, I spoke to a lot of the option traders in the webinar. Not a lot of people think the calls are juiced, which is a little bit odd. But again, I don't know. I'm not an options guy, so I can't tell you. But again, they do report tomorrow. The notable buyers all day, 140, 145s, and some 150s. Amazon, right? Amazon is very, very close to reclaiming supply, as you can see, right? It's been rejected 3 times at the top of the range here, going all the way back to the 65-day supply. We saw some pretty aggressive call buying coming in. We saw some 205s. We saw some 210s. We saw some, I believe, August or July 220s. The notable buyer that came in was the June 20th, right? The June 20th call buyer came in with some pretty big size for the 210 calls. I am definitely watching Amazon in the next couple of days, because if it could get back above the 65-day supply, this thing can start waking up here. XYZ, WMOP. By the way, stupid choice. XYZ, stupid choice. Switching from Square to XYZ, right? Not that Square was the greatest name in the world, but XYZ. It's like Coach switching over to Tapestry. Ooh, why? Okay, right? So XYZ, notable call buyer, came in today for the June 67.50s, the July $70 calls. So why is this important? Because just like Tesla's chart, and again, by no means am I going to compare XYZ, Square, Circle, Blue Bear, whatever the hell it wants to call itself, to Tesla. But if if XYZ can just get above this channel here, right? Get above this April channel, this thing could actually wake up. And this is the first time we've seen some notable call buying. So definitely keep an eye on that as well. Carvana. Right? Carvana, this is now the highest close in the whole formation. Why Carvana stands out? There was a really pretty big size buyer that came in for the weekly 325 calls. Keep an eye on this thing. It's not a It's not a liquid stock. It trades by appointment. Sometimes it has 100 share lots, 50-cent spreads. Again, not really my thing, but if you are a Carvana trader, keep this in mind. Again, a buyer came in with pretty decent size for the 325 weeklies. This is the highest close in the whole formation. Meta, right? Look at Meta. Meta is notable because, again, it had a really, really big run. Okay, it had a really, really big run. And then a buyer came in today with some pretty decent size for the weekly 655 calls. Well, why is that important? Well, because stock right now is at 642. What it needs to do is get back above last week's highs. If it gets back last week's highs, that's also going to confirm or reclaim back the 5-day moving average. If it could start getting it back above this 5-day supply, Meta can wake up as well. And look at the chart on Avago, Broadcom Avago, right? Gorgeous setup, right? Absolutely gorgeous setup. Today got rejected off last week's highs. We saw several decent size buyers come in for the 240 weeklies. I definitely want to keep an eye on last week's highs. If it could confirm it, there could be a pretty good run in the shares of the name. And last but not least, let me give you guys a smaller name, right? Let me give you guys a couple more names. I like this IONQ, right? IONQ is very, very close of busting out of last week's highs. Look at Pony. Stay golden, Pony Boy. 99% of you guys have no idea what the hell where that reference comes from. All you old farts you do, right? Look at Pony Boy. Pony Boy is very, very close to confirming its May the 12th highs. That looks good. And Oracle, watch this thing. I don't know if it's going to confirm in the next couple of days, but Oracle very close to busting out of its IPO highs. And last but not least, look at this little one, BBAI. We saw some short-term $6 calls come in. As you can see by how many stocks I just talked about, there's a lot of really, really good setups. There's really something there for everyone. If you trade high beta, obviously we talked about Tesla and Amazon and, look at ARM, right? Look at ARM, Avago. They all look really, really good. BBII, the smaller cap names look very, very good. So regardless of what you're trading, the market continues to be very, very healthy. We are still in a massive, massive spin cycle of news. Nobody likes it, but again, they're still continuing to kind of brush away bad news and pushing forward. And if we can continue in this matter, man, we could have a really, really aggressive summer. But as the old saying goes, we shall see, said the blind man. We shall see. Guys, God bless everybody. Have a great night. And with God's help, I'll see you all in the field tomorrow.